What's going on, after show audience? We're back again with our two very special guests. We have once again from Tommy C's network, we have Neon Shreon.
Hello, everybody.
Neon, how are you?
I'm doing all right tonight.
And we have from the locale universe, the man, the myth, the beard, the legend, Murdoch Pop.
Howdy, y'all. And hey, check it out. If you look right here, it's Orion's belt. You see it? You see it?
Ooh, it's changing a lot.
Is that right in your backyard, sir? Is that right in your backyard?
Yeah, true. But hey, it's because the earth is round. Shit's moving.
Oh.
I thought it was because you're in a spaceship.
Yeah, that too. I can see that. I can see that.
A little bit. Don't worry about that.
There's a beautiful view right there. Talk about Skyfire News. Well, so we did a video on reacting to Chud Logic's live stream about Nux Taku because Nux kind of got a little, well, Mutahar kind of threw Chud Logic under the bus by telling him that Nux Taku's affiliation with Shadman is the reason why Some Ordinary Podcast was ending, only to then turn out only then to put out a final episode when he had told Chud Logic that they weren't doing a final episode. So, long story short, Chud brings on Turkey Tom and a couple of other commentary people like Nicholas Diorio to talk about Nux Taku and a video that was made about him called I Hate Nux Taku by the Harmful Opinions.
Fitting.
So we kind of got, we had one person call us out. We were planning on watching this anyways, but basically saying that we were defending Nux Taku for all these weird things he's done. I'd like to just put a disclaimer out there. Just because you don't know what somebody has done in the past does not mean you are defending them because you're not crucifying them for it. If you don't know things that they've done, you can't then disavow those things if you don't know about them. So we didn't.
This is real quick. This is the issue, right? So a lot of times we just take everything we see at face value, and this is all we can go off of. You can't talk about the past. You can't talk about the future. All you can talk about is what's in front of you. So to try to be as objective and as fair as possible, you can't just bring out the lynch mob, right? Because, none of this is confirmed. And if people were found guilty all on allegations, 75% of America or even the world would be in prison right now.
Well, even if it is stuff that is confirmed that they've done, if we don't know about it, we can't then be against it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your neighbor killed somebody, you can't turn around and be like, oh, well, they're a bad person for killing someone. If you don't know they fucking did it. Like, so we're going to brush up on some Nux Taku lore and see if he really is the lolly lover that everyone thinks he is.
I just hope this dude has receipts, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yes, that'll definitely factor in.
Ice and drama explosion, which included people taking issue with Chris's association with and apparent fandom of an artist called Shadman. Many people were quick to call out those who were outraged for perceived double standards. It wasn't just Chris, they said. Many people associated with Shadman and propagated his work, a portfolio which most iniquitously includes pornographic cartoons depicting Keemstar's daughter. Why aren't all these other people being hounded? It was asked. The expectation, presumably, was that everyone simply hates trans people and would ignore this criticism of their Chris hate because they don't truly care. It's just something they can use as a weapon against an LGBTQ individual. However, in actuality, lists were made of collaborators, associates, and supporters of Shadman. Reasons for inclusion on such lists ranged from merely tweeting at him to supporting his art financially or even using it in their own creations. Some of those on these lists caught less flack, and some caught more for various reasons you can imagine.
And that's kind of like where the whole like diving into Nux came from, at least recently, is that he got called out for using some of Shadman's drawings in the past. Yeah. And also the fact that he tried to, in my opinion, he tried to go ahead and ride the wave of the Shadman hate, because he definitely did videos where he's like, oh, look at this, porn of these anime characters. It's so bad. And it's like, you're not really saying it's bad. You're kind of just using it as you're taking that stance so that way you can show it off for like shock value.
Well, see, I kind of see it as almost like not like clickbait, but you're trying to use something that is I guess controversial and a lot of people have strong opinions about, and you're trying to get views based on your title. Now, if I remember right, Chud Logic said that it was confirmed he used the thumbnail of Shadman's in one of his videos, and then I think he said, what was it? It was like 15 minutes. He took it down. I think that was the time-ish around there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, man, that's just all at face value. I mean, if the dude, if he really didn't know and he took it down immediately, if he apologized for it, then I mean, it is what it is, right? But yeah, I mean, if there is any history there and you know the history and you still used it, then at that point it is an issue.
Yeah, well, I remember hearing, and I hear it over and over again, that if you do something wrong in these communities, own up to it and own it right now.
Internet never forgets, bro. Internet
don't boogie a damn thing, and people will probably forgive you now, because if you wait 2 years or 5 years, nobody's going to forgive you, and it's going to be a bigger dog pile than it would have been to start with.
Very
Facts,
true,
bro.
One individual.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot I had a brother-in-law that worked for my bad.
Yeah, that was a RSO. Yeah, while trying to call out other RSOs.
And from what I'd heard on Chud, one of the things with Nux is he does try to be that edgelord and be cringy.
Yes, that's his whole bit. That's literally his entire bit, is to be an edgelord.
Like, if you're an old hand internet nerd, edgy is like, bro, you need to bring it.
The problem
your
is,
best
though,
ain't there yet.
The problem is when you fucking edgelord like this and you fuck up and cross a little bit of a line, then you're scrutinized to fucking oblivion. So why even take yourself to that point? Why even ride the line that damn hard to where you can be scrutinized?
Yeah. You don't ever want to be one phrase away from being looked at as a pedophile. Like you never want to be walking that fine of a line.
Well, no, I don't even want to be questioned or in the conversation of possibility.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You want to be so distanced from it. True.
Exactly,
Certainly
bro.
feels he caught more flack than was due is the VTuber called Nux Taku.
And it seems Nux Taku had private conversations with Shadman throughout 2021. Curious.
Pause it real quick. I wasn't on the last video, so I'm gonna say this right now. VTubers are just the cringe of society. Because again, I understand like wanting to be like anonymous and people have certain experiences. I believe because when we were talking to Neon, he shared an example, and if he wants to share it, I'll let him do it in the recorded setting. But if you're a grown ass man and you're wanting to be edgelord like this, put your fucking face out there, bro, and own it. Don't be a bitch behind a fucking avatar. All right, I'm done.
Okay, now I can totally agree with that, and like I'll be a little vague about it, but a female streamer I know uses an avatar because she's been stalked, she's been harassed all over the internet. She used to shoutcast for League of Legends, and she'll tell anybody that. So that's out in the ether anyway. So that's fine. But she got followed from shoutcasting when she stopped shoutcasting all the way to Twitch.
Jeez,
that's fucked, bro.
So,
like I said, I get it.
That is the reason that's a reasonable reason to do it.
100%.
But she also uses a bunny, and it's a silly avatar. It's not this.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you're going to put yourself in certain, I'm not going to say communities, if you put yourself in a certain predicament where you are trying to ride a certain kind of line, there's a reason you want to be anonymous.
Right.
Like if you're willing to be on that line and do content on that line, you should have the fucking balls to show your damn face.
I think everybody has the right to some level of anonymity. My thing is that you can't scrutinize people who are anonymous themselves. Then Like you can't turn around and like, oh, show receipts, show this, show that, or oh, like prove, like you have to really walk the line with that type of stuff.
And real quick, I know people are going to say in the comments, yeah, Ken, we don't have a fucking webcam up showing your face. Yeah, you're right. I'm waiting to get a good one. I don't want to just get some bullshit and fucking just have fucking wings of 144p, whatever, the 440p, whatever the fuck it was.
140p.
That's what I'm saying.
But you've also shown your face though too. You've been on Lockout Live.
And Lockout, I've shown my face on Lockout Live and in the server VC on the fucking stream. I've shown my face, so it's not like I'm trying to hide myself.
Exactly.
Million views, 200,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. The point that I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno when it comes to this freaking bullshit.
I will quickly say, based solely on the content of the video in that tweet, his involvement with Shadman would seem relatively minor. No pun intended. It's a newer clip of Nux calling him a Nazi-ish, pedo-ish guy, alongside older clips sharing that he's received DMs from Shadman. I myself, even, would certainly speak with a freak, especially if they say weirdo stuff that entertains me, and that doesn't suggest a mutually respectful relationship. Fine. So far. Less comfortable a piece of evidence, though, for many, is that Nux Taku once requested to collab with Shadman, presumably for a video.
This is going to be fun. I like this one a lot. Someone tags me, probably this guy. I don't remember what this was about. Shadman says, a bit too middle school. I say, want to collab? He says, Lamau, no, but your heart's in the right place. I say, understandable, have a nice day. I'm here when you come around.
This information was amplified to a large audience by Keemstar, but Nux Taku had an explanation.
People are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster. Which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. I troll, confront people when I collab the same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on LOLcow, and if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons.
So it would have been a confrontation. He would have owned Shadman. Nux
this is the hard believe part.
I am going to prove the point of my troll confront people shtick. Okay, so let me pull up my original tweet where I covered this, because I did in fact mention this over here. So I say, people saying I'm a liar because of these tweets. Aside from not knowing the extent of his shit then, meaning I didn't know about the Keemstar daughter shit, I'd collab with all kinds of scum. Most of my collabs are trolling, and I was gonna grill him. I'd interview EDP. I never commissioned, promoted, been friends with him.
Okay. You could easily imagine someone getting EDP onto a call to treat as a punching bag. Although, perhaps simply imagining things isn't enough, and it certainly wasn't enough for the YouTuber Lyrics.
Lyrics, commentary YouTuber fellow, says, good faith question, hoping you could clarify. This is huge, because most questions, not at all good faith. So you didn't know the extent of his shit then, but you were going to grill him at the same time. If you did get that collab, what would you grill Shad on? From what I remember, he was known as the guy who drew minors sexually. You didn't know that? The rare good faith question. I knew about the lolly stuff and some of his art, like the bestiality with fictional children, etc. Definitely enough to grill the guy. Man. Holy shit, there is so much more. There is so much more than just that. That is the worst, and that would have been the hard cutoff for me to not even respond to the guy, probably. But I legitimately was gonna grill the guy. If you've seen my collabs, I didn't know about Keemstar's daughter, although that's the less important part of my tweet. Collabs are not promotions or condonement in any way on my channel.
He would have bullied him, crushed his...
It's a little difficult to make that argument, though, because it's like, you're so publicly wanting to collab with a person who's known for this lolly stuff, you're attaching your name to it. So, like doing it publicly and not saying, hey, I want to grill you on this shit, like it doesn't look good, you know?
Well, we'll see. It's kind of like this. Remember with side scrollers and DSP, it was originally supposed to be just a guest, and then it turned into an interview. They were transparent. Seat. They were transparent, and they said, you know, we've decided to straight up interview Phil, and we're going to take side. We're going to take stuff from both sides, and we're going to talk to him and ask him all these questions. And I don't know Nux Taku's personality, because again, he's a VTuber. I don't pay attention to him. But at the same time, if he really wanted to make that out there, I mean, granted, he could have argued it's gonna scare Shadman away, and you know he wouldn't want to come up here. At the same time, what kind of content would it have been if he just flipped the script and you know Shadman would have left? And at the end of the day, he would have gained nothing. So either way, he's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't.
True.
Yeah.
I think it's more about a past, like him, if he had a past of actually doing that. But Neon, you were going to say something?
Well, it's also, in my opinion anyway, seeing some of Nux Taku's other content, I don't know that he could have gotten away with something that somebody like, say, Tommy C or Nicholas Diorio could have gotten away with, of getting this guy talking and then just hammering it in on them.
I just don't. Nux Taku just doesn't seem to have that kind of personality.
He definitely
or charisma.
Doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Like he does. I'm sure the harmful opinion goes over the videos that Nux uses as an example, and they are. I'm sorry, they are bad examples, man.
Beautiful.
Neon, were you still saying something?
That was pretty much the end of it. Is just Nux just doesn't have the chops to do some of the stuff he says he wants to do at this point, and that's not me saying he's a good or bad person. That's just me saying he doesn't have the life experience to do this stuff.
Yeah, he's never done it
That's
before.
a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Soul over lowly bestiality. I should disclose to you at this point, dear viewer, the fact that I have a little bird sitting on my shoulder who goes by the name Nicandros and is a regular in my Twitch chat. He's shown me some things, and because of that, this is where I start to feel a niggling doubt. For instance, I mean, he did specify clearly child bestiality is what he has an issue with, so it's not the same, but goddamn, the line for what he considers freak shit suited only for ripping on has got to be a bit closer to Shadman than it is for me. I mean, cartoon woman being raped by a dog in a public humiliation ritual crosses it easily for me, personally.
And
you know,
that was the thumbnail. So that thumbnail was on his second channel, not his primary channel. So he is leaving that out. And this is on Nux's second channel, not his primary channel.
He used that thumbnail?
He used that thumbnail, yeah.
Jesus Christ, bro.
And that was the
credibility.
That was the thumbnail that Chud Logic was bringing up, or was sending to Mudahar and to Turkey Tom and to Nicholas Diorio during his live. And he sent that to Muda, basically being like, how do you support this? Like, what is your thoughts on this? And Muda immediately sent that, at least on his words. And I do trust Muda, even though it seemed like he fucked up a little bit. He sent it on his word to Nux immediately and was like, yo, is this actually a real thumbnail that's still on your video? So, yeah.
That's just nauseating. I can't. I just fucking can't, bro.
Yeah, you got, yeah.
Me, I do love making a spectacle of strange things, but this is just bait for who knows what kind of person to click it and then watch him react to a speedrun fail compilation. What kind of fish are you gonna catch with a worm like that on your hook? This kind. The kind that's into that stuff and will share the source for your viewers in the comments. Wait a second. That profile pic. Who's that little cartoon girl? I swear I've seen her before. Oh, how adorable. What a sweet child. I've also seen her in a thumbnail of a video on Nux Taku's Nuxanor channel. A rather unwise reverse image search on Google eventually leads you to a hentai site page where the image, which features an erect penis that had just been cut off for the thumbnail, is tagged with, among other labels, imminent rape. Lowly. Further, on the topic of his...
Yeah, so like I was saying, when it comes to the other VTubers, like Garara, any of them who absolutely commission this type of stuff, don't I don't care if that they're a woman, disavow them even more, because they know what the fuck they're doing.
It's the thing, bro. Fuck gender. I don't care what gender you are. This is disgusting. And this is the type of shit, if you're into this and you get off on this, bullet in your fucking head. These are the type of people we said deserve to be on a list or a bullet in the head. Like, these are the people that you argue for the purge. Like, and this is the thing. If you, I'm sorry, Neil. Let me make just one point and I'm done. If you want to argue swap anything with the word child, then you're fucked up too, because you can't swap anything with the child and make it okay. And that's all I'm saying, bro. You just can't. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry, Neon. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just trying to get my brain back into gear on,
that was a lot. Really,
the logical
quick.
side. That was a lot to unpack really quick,
Yeah.
And legitimate VTuber, good people, that's fine. The ones, the degenerates that want to deal with lolly, shota, kitty porn of any sort, I'm done with. I've been done with for all of my years.
Yep.
And I have to be nice because people keep asking me to, because I have certain words that could get you guys accidentally screwed up, and I'm not going to do that.
When we stop recording, we'll let you vent. I promise, sir.
Murdoch, you look like you have something brewing.
Go ahead, Murdoch.
I do.
Let the beard flow, baby.
So, like, I have done a lot of arguing with lowly fans on Twitter. It's a fun thing to do, but the problem is it won't ever stop.
Right.
There's no stopping for their argument. At some point, you're just like, okay, I've literally talked to this dude for like 5 hours. I'm spent, and he's over here giving me court cases. Trying to justify his shit.
Well, you can't argue with stupid, bro. It never gets tired.
I know. Dude, I have the same problem. I deal with the hardcore Republicans too. I just do it for fun. Them just like, yo, man, come out of the closet. It's fine. Then they get really pissed off. Like, yo, dude, shit. Compensating much.
Beautiful.
But no, so like my avatar is of a mouse that's smoking. And so that was originally a Marlboro Red ad from, I believe, Australia. It was an actual cartoon, and I took a steal from that. And it took me a while to find an actual artist. And I can't remember who said it, but furries keep a lot of these artists with food in their bellies. And look, not speaking about Shadman, because that dude's a fucking degen. That dude is,
certified.
Yeah.
Certified.
You talking about a list, bro? He needs to be on that fucking list.
Yeah.
There should be a couple lists. Maybe make a new one just for him.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where I feel for a lot of these artists because they don't want to be doing this. I don't want to draw this. But this motherfucker paid me $1,000.
Yeah.
And rent's coming up.
Yeah. Well, Shadman, on the other hand, he seems to love to do it. That's the problem. This man.
Yes. See, there is the difference.
Right.
When you have an artist saying, this is all the terrible shit I was commissioned for. Commissioned. Commissioned for. When you got someone like Shadman, like, this is all the shit I did on Saturday because I was bored. She's 13.
No, that dude is literally he like makes centerpieces. He's like, how can I have this lolly look the best in this sunlight? Like, I don't understand. Again, I don't understand how things go through these people's head, but I can understand why a bullet needs to. Like, listen,
bro, and
this man's forehead needs a sunroof.
Exactly.
And these fucking cocksuckers that sit there and say, it's not an 8-year-old girl, it's a 1,000-year-old vampire. Fuck you, bro. You know what you're doing. You know what the fuck you're doing.
That's always been the argument.
It always is.
2 comments at this point. One of them is Shadman specific. Well, both of them are. First, does anybody else remember the saying, love what you do and do what you love?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Shadman seems to have taken that to a whole new level that none of us ever thought existed.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to quote Kurt Russell right quick and just say, and screw up the quote just slightly, but I'd like to make your head into a canoe in Minecraft, motherfucker.
In
Minecraft.
Sorry.
Shout out.
Oh, we bumped it up. It's Roblox now.
Hey, shout out Tombstone for that quote. It's a great movie.
That's a good
Tombstone,
movie.
Kurt Russell playing Wyatt Earp, and that was probably one of his best roles. To me, it always has been and always will be.
Yeah, and if there's listen, I'm gonna put it out right now. If there's any lolly lover, pedo defenders, comment down below. I will argue with you all day long. I will tell you to
bring tipster so that we can get Xylee in it too.
I will argue with you all day long why you need a bullet in your head in Minecraft. Okay.
There you go.
Oh my god, that person who sent like the 10-page or like the 10 mini paragraph response like defending pedos, I literally responded with I think 4 or 5 words: touch grass, not kids.
That was beautiful.
So, real fast, like it just reminded me of it. So they feel like heroin addicts. All right, but hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was back in film school, and I was living in the apartment, studio apartment, more like a fucking military barracks, just with more drugs and hookers. Well, no, actually less hookers. Than the military barracks.
Shocking.
There was one guy who just moved in, and he was trying to he got my 2 homies hooked on heroin with him. And I was the other guy he was about to try to. But he didn't come at me, hey, man, you want to do some heroin?
Yeah.
He came at me with a whole spiel, a whole, history lesson of never saying heroin, but saying this.
Yeah.
They used this for pain in Japan during World War II. They gave it to, the military people and this and that. I'm like, uh-huh. And he's holding it. I'm like, uh-huh. Like, yeah, that's black tar heroin, man.
Yeah.
No, get the fuck out of here. But
it's
the same ideal. Yeah.
Yep.
They're not trying to justify it to you.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to justify it to themselves.
Yep.
That's it.
And if they can get you into it, then all the more reason why it's okay for them.
It's validation, bro. It's validation.
Mm-hmm. Again,
bucks.
Heroin addicts and fucking lowlies. They're the same to me now. And
honestly, I'd rather have a heroin. I'd rather have a heroin addict next to me than a fucking lolly addict, guys. I'm just saying that right now, just for the record.
If your addiction means that if your addiction is the one and only addiction that nobody would feel safe with you being around a child, you are the problem. You are the problem. Okay.
Yep.
There are a lot of people who have had a lot of addictions that I would allow my child around, like a drunk. I can a heroin. If I would rather pick a heroin addict over your addiction, you are the one with the problem.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Sir, just watch it for a bit, but just don't give him any of the heroin. But
just don't give him the heroin.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, man. I gotta go get some milk. Okay, just don't give me any heroin, okay?
3 words. Just keep them alive. That's all I'm asking. Keep them alive.
Watch them.
Do that. All right, let's get back to the
Viewers being inspired to seek the porn he showcases in thumbnails, although he does sometimes help them out by pinning the porn artist's name when it's commented. There is also a porn-sick fellow on the fan-run Nux Taku subreddit who goes by reality_false, who is a prodigious source poster for everything else. He posts the thumbnail and shares where the porn's from, or at least he did until he was apparently banned 3 years ago. That said, his posts still remain, meaning he functions as an archive for Nux Taku's changed or deleted dodgy choices from before that point.
Damn.
Like this. Hey, look, it's our little friend again. The source
by his own community.
Tagged with lolly on the site of Cheryl this time, but I'm going to go ahead and say that's a cartoon of an undeveloped teen or preteen hairless girl getting railed. Neat. FYI, this whole video was deleted for some reason, so I don't know what was in it. By the way, that little shark girl, she's an avatar for a VTuber, and she's called Gura. Here's a little clip where Nux Taku mentions her.
There's lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like Chibidoki or Megumin from Konosuba or Gura. Nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone.
That's a hot
very
take,
clear.
bro.
Okay, can I stop it real fast?
Yeah.
That's a hot take, bro. That's a hot take.
What he just said was 100% wrong. Because those avatars, let's just say the avatars, they're fully clothed, everything. Those would be more, I would think those are more called, considered chibi, just
chibis,
small.
Yeah,
chibis.
Whenever you hear low, because lowly has a connotation well before anime.
Right.
Yes.
And it, Stanley Kubrick, did was it Stanley Kubrick? I believe it was, who did the film Lolita.
I think so.
Yeah. And where did you think we got the word lowly from Lolita? Because the movie was actually about an underage girl. And I don't know. Actually, I didn't watch it.
Good man.
Regardless,
I've seen some terrible stuff.
Yeah. But he Look, here's the problem. When it comes to like Chibidoki, Garura, all of them, they were cool. They are okay with me up until the point that they start pushing that childlike child mannerisms. Once they start doing that, that's when I'm like, I can't. Like, if you watch Chibi, who, like, her avatar when she first started was a very younger avatar for a very long time, and now that she's like very well established, her avatar is now like an older teenager, young adult. Like, it used to be a child, even when she was in her teenage years, and even when she was like so in her 20s as well, she was still using the childlike, or not Chibi, Chumba. Chumba is the VTuber I'm thinking of, but she used the underage looking VTuber avatar for a very, very long time, and only recently turned that the freaking avatar into a teenager. So it's like.
Here's the problem.
Lost like 1,000 subs.
Probably.
It's entirely possible.
But here's the problem though. So you have like this, I guess, lolly shit, right? And you have the anime and all that. Then the problem is motherfuckers like to graduate. So then remember that show Toddlers and Tiaras?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm walking in a Starbucks and I eavesdrop and I hear 4 dudes talking about the latest episode of Toddlers and Tiaras, I'm gonna think a little something. I'm sorry.
No, you're 100% right.
And then from there, we remember that movie on Netflix. They were all talking about cuties or whatever.
Oh, like the Sneeko film, his favorite film.
Yeah, the Sneeko film.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But see, that's the graduation.
Yeah, well, like Vitality was asked, like he was interviewed, I forget by who, but he was asked, like, do all of your predators that you catch, do you typically find them with like lolly? And he's like, it's not a direct causation, but there is correlation. In other words, just because you look at lolly doesn't mean you're going to become a pedophile, but there are more times than not, or not more times than not, but almost every pedophile that he's come in contact with, or not even almost, I'll say that he finds pedophiles and lolly to be not parallel. They interlink at some point for most people.
Yeah.
Well, we remember what Ted Bundy said. I think I said this in another video. He was like, now granted, we take it for what it's worth. He said it was pornography that kind of demented his mind and like changed him into what it was. Because there's a graduation, and eventually whatever you're into, you want to go just a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? And
well, you want it to become a little bit more real, a little bit more. Yeah,
exactly. And it's fucked up, bro. It's just real fucked.
Now, I would
take Bunny's word for it, but
yeah.
Hold on, Neon. Go ahead, Neon.
Yeah.
I would like to ask that we actually do something right quick, just so that viewers understand this. Let's define lolly, because this is something that pisses me off.
That's a good idea.
And let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Petite, under 5 foot tall. My wife is 4'9". She qualifies as a dwarf at 53. So if you want to say that she's lolly, I will tell you to come at me, bro, because I'm gonna find a way to get you.
So for me, lolly is any aged thing, character, or whatever drawn specifically to be sexualized at a younger, unadult age. That is lolly to me.
For me, it's defined as common sense. To where if you look at a drawing of a person, I'm just going to say person, or a human being, whatever you want to call it, and common sense tells you that's a child, then it's not a 1,000-year-old vampire. It's a fucking child. That's what lolly's defined to me.
I guess I gotta give a definition too, huh?
Or you can just agree with one.
Well, no, because again, that's why I kind of
no.
Oh, sorry.
If the beard is under 3 inches, that's lolly to
to our beard man.
Yeah.
But no, and again, I kind of clarified like on the ideal, like when he, Nux bringing up, this is lolly. Like, no, that's not.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider chibi. And I saw the same thing, like because the new Dragon Ball series, they're all chibi now.
They're all chibi now. Yeah.
And somebody's like, "Oh yeah, Miyazaki was into lolly." It's like,
oh no,
I think you do.
I can't.
Like,
I fucking can't.
No, he was not.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I don't
know. It's not like it. Look, if it's a child drawing, that's lowly.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if there's an age thing, anything. It's meant to be a child. In the real life, are there women that, she's in her 30s, but, she's like 5 or 4 foot, 9.
Right.
Or 4'8", which
it's hot.
The girl
it's hot. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's hot. You got a little tiny midget.
I didn't walk into the room like, oh my God, you're so lowly. No.
No.
Like a real man, I walked in there, I was like, Hawaii? You so chibi.
Picked her up and put her on the wall like a portrait.
I can't. That's beautiful.
Neon.
What you got?
My definition's similar to Ken's. It really is. And there is none of this bullshit. 1,000-year-old dragon, 1,000-year-old vampire, 1,000-year-old werewolf. Why don't you take them, get them in chibi form, stick them somewhere, and then expand them, and take yourself out of the human race and off the planet? Because
in Minecraft.
In Roblox, and in Ark Survival Evolved, because I used to play that.
That's beautiful. Nah, like I don't watch anime because it's just weird to me. Like not this. I'm saying just anime in general. Like I don't know, man. Like it's just not my thing. So like
I'm very discerning.
All these terms you're saying, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But I'm gonna take your word for it. But for the sake of the episode, if it looks like a child, it is a child, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Right?
Common sense.
I guess I should give a little bit of an explanation on myself. Because I actually have a YouTube channel, and I go by the Anime Cowboy.
Okay.
And I actually review anime. Old anime, actually, right now, like 80s anime. Or apparently everyone's an adult, thankfully.
Except Robotech, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I've watched a lot of anime before. I've never been anywhere near these degens who never touched graphic before. Screaming, that's my waifu and shit. No, I'm common sense. I'm a normal human being. I like to make fun of the shows. I review anime as a down south southern hit. He knows nothing about anime or Japan. It's just it's comedy, sir.
Makes sense.
Give me some Butthead any day, bro, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Well, last thing to wrap it up. Just remember, 1,000 years, you're still considered a child in the vampire world. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying. Some of them live for tens of thousands of years. So, but let's get back to this video.
Get out of here.
Let's get back to the video.
It's grey. It's not full pedo. His thumbnails aren't full pedo. It's sus, but they're just cartoons.
This guy's pinned tweet that he retweeted is this. All right, look, it's lewd lolly stuff. That's a line. All right, lewd lolly stuff. That's the gray zone, not actual pedophilia, but the gray zone.
I'm a bit harsher regarding people who are aroused by depictions of children, especially depending on, how realistic the proportions are. But I can tolerate that perspective elsewhere. I've heard him go into a bit more detail about his thoughts.
This is like one of those debates that in the anime community, it's so divided. Like, there are actual people that think it's not weird to fetishize lollies. I'm just saying. Definitely better to fetishize lollies than real-life children. That's not the debate, but that doesn't make it not weird and cringe and someone that I would keep away from, my kids, per se.
Quite a light tone. So I'm still not really buying the idea he'd have been super hostile to Shadman in a collab. Be real, it would have been light ribbing that any weirdo cartoon cunny connoisseur has heard a million times. But I wonder, how does that opinion play out in terms of letting children around the kind of people who use lolly porn in their thumbnails to expose a mass audience to such material? Just a thought. One more little thing I want to peep before getting back on track a bit. Presumably with this being his take on lolly, his take on cartoons, we could definitely expect him to be much more serious about questionable things involving real children, right?
Bro.
Wait, that's not
a bad take,
funny.
my man.
That's the other thing.
Christ.
Extremely concerning. For clarity, the words I heard him say were, "So now you got all these underage kids on TikTok doing the things. Obviously solo, but the implication is there." And then straight into commenting on how catchy the song is. Teehee. I'm sorry. Kids mimicking a pornographic cartoon of an Animal Crossing character having sex on TikTok is not the kind of thing I'd use as a throwaway line in a video I'm making as a grown man, wiggling an avatar around in front of a censored porn vid. Children being drawn to adult material by use of a family-friendly IP and then being influenced to recreate it in videos for attention is spine-tingling. Masses of minors conditioned in
Well, see, that's the thing with TikTok and all that. That it is a bit conditioning. Like, kids are spend most of their lives, most of their child life, and most of their no worries.
We got you, bro. You're good. You're good.
You're good. The most of like a child from birth to probably about 10 to 13 is just copying what they see, doing, learning. Like the first 3 to 5 years of their life is just learning how to use their hands and their feet. Like it's all about copying. And when you're as influential in those years of like 13 to 17, what you see, like the mass majority around you doing, is what's going to influence what you do. And that's why he's saying, like, being such a huge personality, he should have better reins on what he exposes his audience to.
Well, the other thing too is, when like with my wife, when we first met, she had young nieces and nephews, and I had to watch my language because I cuss like a sailor, and
exactly,
I had to just be wary of that because children are impressionable.
Right.
So, I don't want to be the one responsible for them learning the word fuck or shit or bitch or anything like that. Right. So this is one of them things. And as you go into teenagehood, you're trying to figure out who you are. I mean, just to be honest, you're going through puberty. You got a lot of shit going on internally, a lot of shit you're trying to figure out. You got social expectations. And, if you're sitting there and you got this shit in front of your face, You know what I mean? And it's in any realm of accepted or any realm of tolerable, then at that age, if you don't ask an adult or talk to an adult about it, hopefully your parents, but an adult, I'll say, and they give you the correct advice, then it's going to shape you and what you think about it. So that's kind of the fucked up part about it. And being a personality that demographic looks up to, if you're saying this shit, making light of the situation and showing any sort of acceptance, then you're going to think it's okay. And then here we are.
Yep. And that's the worst thing about it is like, that's why a lot of people are getting on him. Obviously, the other stuff that we're learning, that's bigger. But the whole thumbnails and all that, that's why a lot of people were getting on him, because it's like you're exposing, even if you are trying to talk shit about it, like let's say he legitimately was trying to talk shit about it, you're still uncensoring it or lightly censoring it. So there's still that exposure, that anger, that hatred that gets people to click. And then, of course, the people who actually like that crap, they're going to click on it too. And now you're exposing your regular viewer who has no idea about most of this BS. They now have to live with the information that you just gave them.
Like, and it's a vicious cycle, bro. And and the one thing I'll say is it just needs to go away. I know it's not, but the fact that it's allowed in any sort of kind of way, and watching this even censored, it's sickening. This shit is sickening. And I don't understand what the fascination is. I don't understand why people think this is entertainment. I don't see any value in anything. And with him joking around and trying to make light of it, like I said before, even if it's satire, if the wrong demographic of people see that, then they're going to think it's funny. And then they're going to, want to, I guess, digest that content in a way. It's just fucked, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And eventually some people will be expecting that sort of content.
Yep. And exactly. And see, that's the whole reason. Damn, chill. That's the whole reason that we said we are not the after show, the lolcow after show. We are the after show. Like, we understand. Yes, we definitely do cover lolcow-esque stuff, that little universe of the world on YouTube. But we watch multiple things. So if you come here just for that content, stay, please enjoy, do as you please. Just know that we do not solely do that content.
Yes.
So if that's like all you want 24/7, we do apologize. That's just not what we do. But just stay for the lolcow content that you enjoy. And if you don't enjoy this type of stuff, hey, we don't ask that you don't have to like it. You don't have to subscribe. But we don't even ask for any of that. We just put it out. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it.
Yep. And hopefully people hear our opinions. They agree. Maybe not with everything we're saying, but just on a base level, agree this is disgusting.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for, bro.
Exactly.
Like you can critique the whole bullet in the head in Minecraft comment. You can critique what I say about shit, but just at a base level, let's just agree this is disgusting.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for.
Well, let's get back to the filth.
To producing soft-core chomo.
This is hard to watch.
This is a pedo's dream. Literally. There are jokes to be made, sure. Jokes to be made about everything. But just saying what's happening happily and lightheartedly, that's just normal and chill to Nux. For me, that's evidence we're in nightmare world. If you don't quite get what's spooking me here, here's Turkey Thomas explaining a relevant strategy used by pedos for you. Funnily enough, this clip features an image you might recognize.
EPI is a shorthand for early introduction, in which minors are exposed to adult content. They fantasize about perverting their innocence, often by utilizing Rule 34 to flood sites with a younger demographic. It's a form of fetish mining explicitly used to groom children.
Flooding a mixed audience site with
I have never heard that term before.
I haven't either.
Fetish
EPI and SPI? No, I haven't.
I didn't hear of that either, but no, the fetish mining is the one that I was more so like.
It's a form of fetish.
I haven't heard that
act
phrase
of
either,
soliciting
no.
fetish content fetish content from somebody without them knowing the true. Oh, okay. So like, if you had like a fetish of like somebody like cutting things, and then you asked them to like cut stuff for you, like they don't know that you're getting off sexually to it.
There you go.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting for me because I feel like consent is the biggest rule.
I hate people. I hate
that's
people,
like
bro.
like it's one.
Just...
There's a lot of things I'm okay with being used for. Look, if you're ever stroking it like to the thought of somebody, they're never supposed to know about that. Like you,
yeah.
You know, this is like the girl that accused Louis C.K. of like sexual harassment. This is like what she was trying to say he did. That he did like just hang up the phone, bitch. Like fucking
that's all you gotta do, bro. Yeah.
Oh man, this is just I would throw hands if I ever found somebody did this to me.
This is a hard watch, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is disgusting.
Mining explicitly used to groom children.
Flooding a mixed audience site with adult material to introduce children to a kind of porn they might be more comfortable with, to hook 'em, huh? Interesting. Not suggesting this was Nux Taku's intent with these. Perhaps so many are removed because he realized how bad a look it is, or maybe it just became a YouTube problem at some point. But
Rule
what I would
34.
suggest is that his clickbait strategy shows supremely terrible judgment, or recklessness, at the very least. Back to his TikTok comment. I find it concerning that
Fucking
children
Christ.
performing these actions on camera
Yeah.
for anyone to see could represent direct success of this strategy. And even if it's not the direct outcome of this deliberate tactic, it's sickening that there's a system that nudges kids to produce material for these freaks. Okay, lolly's a gray area. Alright, Nux. What do you think adults watching those kids on TikTok are? And remember, not to
Exactly.
necessarily blame anyone who produces adult material that utilizes video game elements and tries to keep it in appropriate places, but just by these animations existing, you end up with commenters talking about them on parts of the web that do appeal to kids and which they freely access in a way that wouldn't generate parental suspicion, such as in the comments for game music that's been featured in such porn. Perhaps directing them there. Forget the quote-unquote lowly grey area. Genuine, hardcore nonces love when things work out this way. Hear it straight from the pedo's mouth. Well, not Tom, but the guy he's quoting.
I love the
I was
idea
gonna
of
say.
streaming to porn their favorite games. That's how I got a porn addiction.
But perhaps I've been premature. Maybe I've been unfair. Nux does continue to talk about that TikTok trend in his video. I'm sure he'll elaborate on the children he mentioned miming sex.
This is currently the most concerning trend on TikTok.
Is it really the most concerning trend on TikTok? There's literally a trend right now called devious licks, where people
Yeah,
break
I
into
remember
schools
that.
or are in schools and steal stuff. That is a trend on TikTok right now. But no, this is the most disturbing trend on TikTok. All right, dude.
Sorry, what? You're really going to tell me that kids are creating erotic dance material for pedos to enjoy, and then the follow-up is to downplay it? You can
I don't know if y'all heard about that dude, the TikTok player, the bald white guy. I think it's like the buddy, the bidet, whatever you want to call it. And he would do like duets with videos of obvious children. Like there's no arguing that they're obvious children. And he would do like duets, like reacting to them. There was one in specific I remember where like the girl like kissed like half the screen, and I guess he was kissing the other half of the screen, and it was just weird as fuck. And this is kind of what this is reminding me of. It's like kids. That's why I refuse to go on TikTok. I don't want to see kids dancing. I don't want to see trends. Like that's not. I know TikTok is a lot more than that. But I just don't want to take a part in it.
No, yeah, I get you. It's just a way, just like video games, just like after school sports, all that type of shit. It's just a way for them to get in there unsuspectingly.
And the thing is, they're doing it in the comfort of their own home, and that's the sad part. And this shit, I just hope this like YouTube Kids or something, because you know how like YouTube Kids sometimes shit gets like creeped in there.
Yeah, the whole Elsa gate.
It's weird.
Yeah, Elsa gate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope and pray. That's the thing, bro. Like, whenever me and my wife are blessed with children, I'm gonna be so fucking scared of some shit like that happening and just whatever. And they're just trying to be innocent, just be kids and having fun and just looking at kid content and all that shit. And then Next thing you know, they're asking me questions about shit they have no business knowing at the age of like 5 and 6 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm scared of, man.
What the world exposes them to is out of your control. You can only do the best that you can.
Yep.
Yeah, I get you, man.
That's the sad part, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, which is worse, perhaps taking into account risk of injury, reputation, future ruination, blah, blah, blah. But why take a side so hard?
Well, more and more TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's got people concerned. Basically, a lot of people are afraid that the dance is going to get really popular, and kids are going to start coming on the app and doing it and get targeted by predators.
No one's afraid of that. All right, maybe I'm not around TikTok enough, and I don't understand the ecosystem.
You don't need a degree in computer science for this, buddy. You told me kids are posting these videos. Who do you think might be watching?
But I don't think that people are afraid of kids being targeted by predators because they're doing a dance. Okay? Kids are targeted by predators on TikTok.
He said
freaking breathing crooked. I don't think this day.
Okay.
What he meant is like he wouldn't, if I had kids, I wouldn't let him around my kids. That's what it was. He's not.
Right.
He
I misunderstood then. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he's even dating somebody.
This is going to push anyone over the edge, but that's just me.
Oh no, it absolutely will push them over the edge, and I mean that in a very disgusting way. Nux can comprehend the sus nature of loli and what it may suggest about those who enjoy it, but will tell us that kids are filming themselves mimicking sex acts for anyone in the world to watch, and can't understand intuitively why that's messed up, regardless of whether or not someone comes and abducts them. Not sure our boy's all there on that point of what apparently seems normal for him, if even this sickening ecosystem is only cause for light-hearted comment and downplay. You'll have to forgive me again if my doubts regarding exactly how hard Nux would have grilled Shadman over loli stuff continue to grow exponentially. Even without this little context detour, there was one man who doubted even without all this information. Remember from earlier, it was Lyrics. Let's pick that back up now.
Appreciate the reply. If you have a history of doing many collabs for...
I'll be honest, you don't really need any of that context to know. Like, if you just have watched any of his videos, you know he's not the type of person to do it. Like, he just doesn't have the personality. Like, that's all you really need is to watch a single video of his and be like, there's no way, bro. You would totally
not
just troll around. Like, I'm sorry. I enjoyed his videos. I enjoyed Nux's videos, but like, you just not that guy.
there's some shit you just shouldn't touch, and this is one of those things.
Yeah, definitely.
The sole purpose of trolling them, I think this is fair. Not gonna lie, when saying I was asking for a collab as a troll, it looks kind of bad. If that's what you've done before, it's believable. Well, this over here is a collab where I collabed.
Yeah, these are the bad examples. These are this kind of like he sunk himself with this.
With Kagi Films, a voice actor, and it was purely for the... I told him that we were going to get...
Blah, blah, blah. So Lyrics very fairly asks Nux, who claims he would only have Shadman on to troll him if he has a history of bringing people on to mess with them, clearly meaning something like an ambush, really mess with them. Lyrics wants proof that Nux would treat Shadman rough, obviously. Here are a couple clips I've selected from the videos Nux uses to demonstrate he's a real stone-cold troll beast.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The thing is, you're actually one of the best dub voice actors. Whenever I see you in a show, I'm always excited. Like, I unironically watch the Horimiya dub because I think you do such a good job.
Oh, thanks, man. It's a really cute show.
I usually watch anime and sub, but Horimiya, dude, you kill it.
Roll the clip of me killing the turtle.
Oh, he's very owned, and you clearly have no fondness for each other. Damn, what a killer.
Disclaimer, I swore that I would put this in the intro if the One Piece action adaptation looks awesome, and I'm not saying or confirming that anything happened behind the scenes, but it looks actually really cool based on what I was told. All right, we're gonna just keep it like that for legal ambiguity.
No matter what he does after this point, this video is effectively an ad. Self-aware dick sucking is still dick sucking. What this guy's calling trolling, I call extremely light banter, general mischief, shit I do with people.
I'm not gonna lie, DNI had way better trolls than that. Oh man,
God. You're taking it back, ain't you?
Yeah. Oh man, you don't need all of this information or lack of information to know that Nux he really just wanted that clout. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, man.
He shows us stuff like tricking people into saying words so he can snip them together into a song, messing around with Deji. It's bog standard social media cross promo. Him saying it's not doesn't make it true. It just means he's retarded or lying. I'll let you pick. The one clip he shows where he kinda goes in on someone doesn't even really count. It's Boogie2988. His brand is punching bag. So it's no surprise that Lyrics wasn't satisfied. He said, so I just looked through the 2 examples you gave me of the videos where you quote-unquote troll, and you lied to my face, dude. You shouted out both of them, said you had a fun time, and said they were cool guys. These vids are literally just promotion for them. Weird examples you gave to defend the Shadman collab request. Can you clear this up, dude? It seems you were completely dishonest to me in your framing here. And from these examples, I can only assume you would treat Shadman the same if you would have gotten the collab.
Exactly.
Fair, I'd say. It's worse that Nux gave these examples than if he gave no examples at all. Sadly, as far as I can tell at the time of writing, Nux Taku didn't have time to respond to these ones. Odd. And this statement from Nux's video seems really odd now, doesn't it?
Collabs are not promotions or condonement in any way on my channel.
I don't think I like this guy.
Okay.
He gives me weirdo, slimy worm vibes. And you know what? I take back what I said at the beginning. Given such a severe mismatch between my values, my perspective on things, my judgment, my understanding of communication of things, and his, I wouldn't take his word on the general characterization of his Shadman interactions anymore.
I wouldn't either.
Despite having been willing to give benefit of the doubt earlier.
I just scrolled back in my DM.
Mm-hmm. Just a quick point I want to make. It's easy for him to say what he would have done, knowing it's probably never going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Well, all you have to do is look at somebody's past to determine what they're going to be doing, right? Like, if the reason why you trust somebody is because they've held true to their word over and over again. So if you look at this dude's past and he's not actually like ever done a legitimate interview, or not a legitimate interview, but like a legitimate troll or a grill or anything like that, what's to make you think that he would do it now just because?
What I'll say is, just to keep it simple, in my own opinion, I've never seen him take a serious topic seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think he ever has.
That's what I say, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you.
From how old is this? 1 second. 2020 with Shadman, because he sent me some wild shit.
To a man like this, what even counts as wild shit anyway?
That's a good point.
Nux Taku's
that's a real good
tolerance.
point.
That's a good
I
question,
doubt he's solely referring to the couple of messages he shared publicly. Do you really still believe, given just the few highlights I've shared, that he really thought Shadman was purely a freak specimen to be toyed with? Bear in mind, he claims during all of this he was unaware of the Keemstar daughter thing. So Shad to him was just an edgy lolly boy. Which brings me to one last little Shad nugget that made me chuckle.
Also, Nux used a censored picture of Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark played by a child actor of Game of Thrones for a thumbnail. This is all wrong. Okay, so we'll just do this one first. So I did use Shadman art in a thumbnail once. I made a video talked about fucking awful Game of Thrones, cursed Game of Thrones memes. One of the cursed Game of Thrones memes that popped up when I looked up fucking cursed Game of Thrones fucked up shit on Google Images was a Shadman art, and I didn't even know it was a Shadman art when I used it. I got comments saying I recognized the Shadman art, etc., etc., and I changed the art, not last week to avoid drama, not yesterday so I could have a Zynga response video and make an apology. No apologies! I changed the art 2 to 3 years ago!
Alright, seems true he changed it a long time ago. Whether you believe the way he found it or not is up to you.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Also, to make things worse, they say that I used a picture from
Something
Shadman's
that
porn
serious,
comic
you
of
should have
Arya
made a
Stark played by a
statement.
child actress for Game of Thrones. Lies! It wasn't even Arya Stark. It was the freaking you know nothing Jon Snow girl. It was her. It was not Arya Stark. These people literally will go crazy out of every possible way.
Yep, seems true too. I'm not a Game of Thrones enjoyer, but seems correct. And I know it seems true because I checked, and I regret checking.
I knew about the lolly stuff and some of his art, like the Beast.
Well, the question here, though, is like, okay, was she drawn as a child, though? Because that's still the problem. Like, it doesn't matter that the muse is older if the drawing is them as a child. Like,
it's a depiction, and the thing is, with this serious of a matter, if it truly was a mistake, now none of us are going to know except for fucking Nux Taku. If it really was, bro, he should have issued a public apology video and said, listen, I fucked up. This is what I thought it was. I'm changing it now. Hope, whatever, and just leave it alone. Like, don't just change it and ignore it and then bring it up later. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, because then too much time will pass.
Exactly.
Reality was
Can I say
fictional.
something real fast? Sorry.
Yeah. No, go for it.
So, as you can tell, my camera is off.
Mhm.
My headphones died, and believe me, I am not going to be on camera without my cowboy hat. So
No.
it's either with the hat or you don't get to see this face.
Damn it. I want to see the beard, bro. That's all I want.
Well, I mean, I could always put on my luchador mask and just go that way.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, anytime we pause it, feel free to jump in. Like, that's the whole reason. Or to even say pause it, and we will. Like, if you have something to say.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. I just want to get it out there for the audience. You know,
Okay,
hey, chat,
yeah.
listen.
Hey, we are very welcoming of luchador masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment in the bottom if you want to see my face more.
Yeah.
Let the guys know.
I'm just saying, if you want to see Murdoch, go to the beginning of the video, pause it, make your lolly photo, and fucking post it. Okay.
You know what? As horrible and degenerately disgusting as that might be, if somebody turned me into like a lolly, I would look at it at least for a good 10 seconds before being disgusted.
No, yeah.
I'm like, got the beard right.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Please don't do that. All lolly needs to stop.
I don't think
Please don't.
I don't think we cross like any communities of that.
No.
If you're gonna draw me as an adult, okay?
And you said all luchadors?
Oh yeah, luchadors, bro. Hell yeah.
What about the old Undertaker mask?
Hey, you get the Undertaker, and you can get Kane.
The Sting Phantom mask. Yeah, all good for me, man. I grew up in that era.
Hell yeah.
Get the Goldust mask on too.
I can't.
Yeah, the collection of images the thumbnail pic came from includes such an example of child dog rape. Now, I'm not saying he's lying about his knowledge of the true source of the image. Who could prove that? But I do find it really funny that in the set, there are two versions of the girl he used. One more developed with larger breasts, and one with much smaller breasts, which could be seen as catering to a normal range of tastes, but given the artist becomes slightly sinister.
You really can't use
that.
What
argue
tickles me, you see, is that, of course, Nux Taku's old thumbnail used the less developed version. I do also have to explain another reason for my unprovable suspicion about his honesty.
Honestly, this is one of the few times where I will not say, show me the proof. Like,
I don't want to see it, bro.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, if you're telling me he used it, no sauce, please. No sauce. Like, I believe you. Like, I got you.
That's enough salt and pepper, bro. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Receipt free for this one.
Yeah. You've proven it enough. I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, my exposure to Shadman was primarily just seeing people talking about him, and the only thing of his I remember ever seeing is drawings of Hillary Clinton as a lolly. However, In looking into recent drama, I have become more familiar with Shadman's style than I'd ever want to be. He's a freak, but he's a skilled freak, and he has a style. I'm not confident that someone steeped in drawn degeneracy wouldn't have known at a glance that the drawing Nux used in his thumbnail was by Shadman. In fact, his commenters noticed immediately, for instance. Maybe it was less that he realized it was Shadman, and more that he realized people pointing out so loudly that it's Shadman was an issue. Merely a possibility. Yeah. Folks, at this point, forget roasting Shadman, forget trolling him. I think that guy's in jail anyway, the time has passed. Maybe this Nux Taku guy is the one in need of some flames. Seems like a soft target for ridicule to me. Ooh, maybe someone should troll collab him like he was gonna do with Shadman. Any podcast that would do something like that? Having said that, as you know, I'm not an, oh no, you gotta block the weirdos and potential creeps and never interact kinda guy. But he wouldn't be my first pick of teammate. I wouldn't have him as a consistent podcast member. Just my taste. So when controversy flared, I wasn't surprised to see this. Mutahar, who ran a podcast with Nux Taku, talking to friend of the stream, Chud Logic, about it. Mutahar initially explained.
Yeah, this is the
that was part, all fucked up, bro.
This is the part where Muta kind of murkies up. Like, I don't know why. Like, dude, if you don't have a statement, just don't fucking say anything. And like, he was slightly taken out of context, but on the same time, not adding enough context. But we'll see. It's just like, Muta, you kind of fucked up.
His uncertainty about the situation.
He did tell me like they interacted before. I think it was like the collab shit. Okay. And from just like behind the scenes, he told me that this was all like a fucking joke or something at the time, which is like I never pressed so hard into that just because I have no knowledge of like how far his relationship goes.
In spite of the uncertainty, though, things quickly got both spicier and muddier.
Are you going to keep him off the podcast?
No, we would cancel the podcast. It's not happening. The podcast is done.
This is hard because obviously, you know, people want me
podcast is done. Yeah, podcast is done now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the podcast is over. We are not filming the last episode. It's over.
Pretty nuclear statement in this context.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're not doing the podcast anymore. It's done.
Why?
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there. We're like,
was it supposed to end?
Yeah. So there's they have come out since during the final episode, and they were saying that it was a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and that they were always planning to do the final episode, and it was supposed to end because of like. Not backroom deals, but like I guess like conflicts or something, or just things weren't lining up or something like that. Yeah,
I got you. Okay.
Me and Caleb, we were just like, this is, I don't know, it's weird. The other thing was we just want to redo things, maybe like 2 months down the road or something between each other, and that's kind of where we're at.
This is the key snippet. 2 things are mentioned: the podcast ending and an episode being cancelled. And 2 reasons are given: the Nux stuff being weird, and an apparent plan they already had. Do the 2 reasons apply to both? Does one apply to one? Does one apply to the other?
Nux Taku getting iced out. Sorry.
I mean, for me, for like Nux or whatever, like I talked to him, and he's a good friend behind the scenes for sure. And this whole situation, like I would have to really look into more of his involvement and like everything. Like if you want to walk me through it, like that would be. I'd be completely fine.
And then somehow it gets even less clear, because despite such definitive statements, Mutahar is again expressing uncertainty, before later really homing in on the element of Nux Taku's character that irks me.
I feel like if he had any interaction, it should just come clean entirely. It does come across a little weird that
going back and forth, bro. It ain't a good look.
I think if you're in that camp, if you ever interacted with
Luda,
Shadman,
you're not a
just
Fraggle.
completely own up to it once,
Pretty
take the
much.
fucking L and move on. But that's just weird if you're not able to. I don't know. It almost seems like kind of like hiding an interaction for no real reason.
And then a later comment sounds even worse.
mean, there's no reason to really hide it unless like the interaction was more deeper than it was initially let on, is what I would say.
There's more said than I've shown in these clips, but I think it's clear that while the specifics were murky, the tone was a little hardcore. It's easy to understand how people could interpret this in different ways, but there were one or two concrete statements, and I want to focus on this one.
We are not filming the last episode, it's over.
Cut and dry. It's over. They're not filming the last episode. I think we ourselves can home in on that and say the cancellation of the last episode is probably down to the Nux Taku controversy regarding association with Shadman. But as with so many things that relate to Nux, even with this, there's slipping, there's sliding, there's sliminess. There did end up being a final episode recorded and published featuring Nux. Which isn't the issue. I'm not saying, he said there wasn't going to be and now there is. No, it's fine. It's alright. You can change your mind. However, what bothers me is the blatant sweeping, as the kids call it, that accompanied this. One more example of spineless, subtly deceptive behavior to throw on the pile. You see, it must have been Nux Taku's lucky day. Chud Logic and a Twitter user, understandably given what Mutahar said and the way he said it, mischaracterized the situation. Chud's title stated Nux was kicked from the podcast, and the tweet claimed it was ending because of this controversy, which as we know now is not accurate. Nux seizes on this error in his defense video. He even has a big ol' yapping clip from Mutahar reinforcing that it's false. The podcast was not ending because of Nux. In fact, they intend to work together in the future if possible.
But the biggest issue here is like, yes, it gives Nux. If you don't like Nux, it makes you upset that he has that W. If you like him, it makes you happy that he has that W. The problem is everyone needs to focus on the problem, which is Mutahar fucking talking. Like the way he said it, the only real thing to derive from that is, so they cut ties with Nux because he is possibly into Lolly.
Well, it seems like Muta was almost fence sitting and trying to like ride both sides at the same time without being 100% clear.
Yeah,
now, granted, if there was like some backstage talks about eventually ending it and disagreements and possible shit in the future, okay. But if the Shadman stuff just kind of pushed it over the edge, he's just like, fuck it, I don't want to do this shit anymore, then just say it. Just say that. I don't know why he's trying to save face or why he's trying to like have some sort of fucking image left for Nux to not be completely in the wrong here. But who knows? Maybe they signed an NDA. Who fucking knows at this point? But you know,
you never know. Yeah,
I don't understand why Muta just didn't just give a damn statement and be done with it. He should have just never said anything as far as, you know, yes or no. Now I know what Chud's trying to do because he's on his show, and I get it, right? You're going to ask questions because this is a very controversial thing. But Muta should have just said, you know, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, and we just decided to end it. Leave it at that, bro.
Yeah.
That, or he could have said any of a number of things to not pander anywhere and just say, we came together as creators and decided that we're done for now.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
Make it easy, simple, but you know it.
The more you convolute something, the easier it is to dissect.
Yeah.
And the more of an asshole you look.
Well, there's also the option of just not saying anything.
That's usually the best option. Attorneys tell me that all the time.
Yeah, just, you know, typically, you know, you could turn around and be like, you know, I'm not going to give a comment on that right now, you know, or very easily, I don't know enough about that to comment on it.
Yeah. And I mean, sure. Yeah. A fucking, Chud would have pushed him a little bit just for, I guess, comedic value. But if Mutahar just said, look, I don't want to talk about it, I don't have a comment, then Chud would have let it go and just moved on.
Right.
But just plead the fifth.
Yeah.
But when you say anything, it just opens the fucking door.
Yep, and then anything you say is going to be questioned. You know, that's the problem right there for people.
Right,
and held against you in the court of internet law.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say is, Chud Logic is not that person to leave the door open with, because he will kick that motherfucker down.
Yeah, Chud will go in. Chud will just keep asking questions, and if you leave, like, I'm not gonna say run, but if you bow out of the conversation, he won't like let it go. He'll just keep going. He'll be like, "What the like? Why are you leaving if it's not an issue?"
Yep.
But
you don't give a fuck, bro.
Looks true to me.
Yeah.
If you leave, like in this situation for Mutahar, if he had just said later Chud and popped out, that would have been a week's worth of content for Chud.
Oh yeah, it would have looked worse
because he would have farmed him every day of the week that he does streams.
It would have looked worse for Mutahar if he would have just said, "I'd rather not talk about it because I don't have all the facts," or this stuff's just coming out. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I want to know more before I comment on it. He would have. Yeah, it would have been a little bit more reputable than just saying, "Look, I don't want to talk about this. I'm out," and leave. That's a little guilty, if you ask me.
Right. A little
it always looks shady, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? That isn't all there is. That's not even necessarily the juiciest part. The announcement of the episode cancellation sounded like a snap-in-the-moment emotional decision. And the reason for that at the time was most definitely the controversy, as confirmed on another Chud Logic stream by Mutahar's other half via Super Chat.
Oh, okay. Right. So the truth is, this is Dojangle saying this, I believe, okay? So... Oh, dude. Is this it? Is this true? Can we say this? The last episode was the reason it wasn't filmed because of the Shadman stuff, but the podcast was ending anyway. And the way Mutahar explained it made it sound like the podcast was ending because of that stuff, but it was actually the fact the last episode wasn't being filmed because of that stuff, and it was going to end anyway. Is that it? Is that the fair assessment of this?
Doe confirms this characterization as accurate, though it's worth noting her super chat says it was the reason at the time. Following this, Chud perceptively notes.
So yeah, it feels like what this does then, it enables it to be like, well, it's not ending because of me. But then if it is true that the last episode wasn't filmed because of the Shadman stuff, I mean, that is worth a mention, right? But he's probably not going to mention it because he can just focus on the, well, it was going to end anyway. It was going to end anyway type thing.
Yep. He lays it out again.
I think it's probably true the podcast was ending anyway. And it's just the final episode isn't being recorded because of this little drama that happened.
And it's funny because Tommy even said that on his live stream today. He's like, I'm not like Chud. I'm not gonna go do research. I'm not gonna go find out every perspective, every narrative, every da-da-da-da-da. I'm just gonna see what's in front of me and I'm gonna react to it.
And that's what we do here. That's what we said in the beginning of the other video. Like, we don't know the past and all that shit. We just see what's in front and react to it. That's it.
And if we need to know the past, by all means, link it. We're down to check it out. Like, that's the whole reason why I wanted to check out this one, is because we watched Chud Logic talking about all this, and it's like, okay, well, they were talking about this video, so we might gotta go and watch it to get caught up.
May as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Shadman stuff, right?
During this, Doe chimes in to say that the last episode has, in fact, been recorded. They backtracked, as we know because it's been released at this point, with a full cast. The otherwise perceptive Chud misses this in chat and proceeds to theorize.
Like, clearly, to me, what this seems like is, like, they don't want to fucking burn Nux Taku super hard over this. So they're giving this little out of like, we'll make it about the podcast ending without really talking much about the reasoning for the last episode not getting filmed. That's what it seems like to me.
To which Doe replies and confirms they don't want to burn him. They're still friends. Or friends looking out for friends.
Burning a connection.
So it's a sweep. A minor sweep, but a sweep nonetheless. Last episode was originally going to be cancelled over creepy shit. Into the memory hole. That statement was never made, and while they do briefly help Nux out with the drama at the start of their last episode, nothing about Mutahar's original intent or statement of cancellation is mentioned as far as I can tell. Never happened, I guess. Doesn't matter. Not pertinent to direct discussion of the drama that was directly responsible for this episode being planned to never occur. In fact, I feel really sleepy. maybe Mutahar never had those feelings or said those things.
Oh, it's a lot easier to go ahead and focus on the reason why it was going to end versus adding on the Shadman stuff. Because
yeah, I mean,
like, it's just so much easier to be like, well, it was already going to end, and it was because of some, like, these things fell through, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it as, you know, the decision was already made. This came out, so it's easy to point the finger. And
yeah.
I don't know if there's any kind of like trying to save face at this point. They're not trying to completely, you know, burn Nux by saying whatever they really want to say at this point, like PR or whatever the fuck. But it just seems very coincidental that, you know, the cast member is saying, you know, it's already recorded, they're still good or whatever, you know what I mean? It's very convoluting at this point.
It definitely seems like there was a lot going on, and nobody had their story straight. Like,
yep.
Oh man,
a lot of backtracking, bro. A lot of backtracking.
And that's the problem, though, when you give a statement of fact and you don't fact check it with your other people or run it by them. Now they have to play off of what you said, and then the next person, and then the next person. That's why a lie. That's why a lie is only good if everybody knows what the lie is. Like,
facts.
Oh man,
that thousands of people have heard. I must be mistaken. To me, this is one more little tiny PR asswipe for the guy who constantly needs spot cleaning when his butt gets too dirty. Look, it's cool to have internet video friends, but when that means clearly strategizing to manipulate an audience's perception of reality to their benefit, it rubs me the wrong way. Once you're creating mass media, once you're broadcasting to people, that's not being a good friend. That's called being compromised by friendship. Though, to be fair, friendship might not be the right term. Think about it.
Partnership.
We saw in that interview, Mutahar didn't really know what was happening, but was ready to knee-jerk throw Nux Taku under the bus. Controversy? Ooh, not doing the last episode, even though that's a really, really bad look for Nux Taku. Maybe Mutahar's explanation was so garbled out of panic. The worst of both worlds. Memory holding what happened because it's a bad look for your associate, but they're not a close enough associate really to have not knee-jerk screwed them on a live stream in the first place, which you then need to pretend didn't happen. It's a real shame that Shad chilled on it after getting his answers so quickly for some reason.
Maybe,
I think there was plenty more fun that could have been had.
Trying to avoid guilty by association.
Well, yeah, but like, he was more so making it sound like he was throwing him under the bus to like save himself. Which I guess it's a possibility. I just don't feel like, just from watching some of Mutahar, like he doesn't seem like that type of a dude.
No,
like
not
he
at
seems
all.
like the type of guy who's like, if he has an issue with you, he like with Boogie, right? It's like he knows Boogie hates him and he hates him. Like, he doesn't pretend that he hates him. He doesn't pretend to not hate him. He doesn't even try to be cordial with him. He just hates Boogie. So I can respect that. So for him to like kind of somewhat insinuate that he's trying to throw Nux under the bus to save himself, I don't know. I don't really get that vibe. Not from Mutahar, at least.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
This isn't even
Not
really
normally anyway. It seems out of pocket for his behavior.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's his character. Like I said, like, past action will always show you what somebody will most likely do in the future. And I just don't know him as, or haven't seen or been pointed in the direction that would show me that he's like that or would do that.
Pressure thing, the stakes aren't that high for Nux Taku. It's not like much of his existing audience would turn on him over a Shadman association, regardless of how tenuous or close it may be, or because large creators cancel a show over it, making it look like they're judging him. Just look at what's enticed them to click on videos over the years. They'd probably be into it. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.
Beautiful.
Well, he definitely had an opinion. That was a good video for
It was very informative.
That's what I thought the RTU video was gonna be like. The documentary.
Yeah.
That's what I was wanting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, June did a good job with what he did.
Did a fantastic job with what he did.
He did miss some stuff, but that's neither here nor there at this point. But I don't know, man. I think Nux is definitely fucked up, and I think that he was trying to put his usual comedic spin on something that doesn't need a comedic spin. And I think he was trying to use his public perception to save face when it came to the whole Shadman thing and questioning their relationship.
Oh yeah, he's the edgelord guy.
Yep. And truthfully, if Shadman even went on Nux, I mean, would he have clowned him or anything? Yeah, sure. But I just don't see him holding that serious interview or that serious conversation about something. He's just going to try to make something somewhat comical that doesn't need to be. It needs to be taken very seriously, especially with someone that has done the shit that Shadman has done.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. So, yeah, he honestly, if anything, he would have most likely thanked him for the collab as well. Like, Nux just doesn't seem like that. He just doesn't, like I said, he's not that guy. Like, he just doesn't have a history of doing it. And honestly, I would be much more respected or have much more respect for him if he just came out and was like, look, he was the hype train at that time. I was using it to get clicks. It is what it is. Like, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that. I've learned from this, blah, blah, blah. Like, owning up to it obviously doesn't make it any better. But at least accepting the fact that you fucked up and owning up to it versus trying to turn around and be like, no, what I was actually trying to do, you see what I did there was this other thing. Like, that's
when face bullshit.
Yeah, that's when I lose respect. And it's like, damn it, Nux. Come on, man.
Yep.
What do you think, Neon?
I think that he really does need to come out with something definitive of, disavowing, saying he screwed up, and can we just move on from this?
Can I add something to
that?
He needs to do it out of character.
Yes. He needs to completely, no joking around, be very solemn and serious about owning an apology. Just make an apology that's heartfelt. And there are communities across YouTube and Twitter, for that matter, that will have so much respect for you. You might gain viewers out of it. But if you're going to go around screwing around like you are right now and playing this game, people are going to lose respect, man. And that's coming from life experience and 8 years on Twitch.
I'm with you, bro.
I've seen it. That's my all of it. Just walk away from the lolly, man.
Yeah, just leave the kids alone. It's that hard.
Hashtag leave the kids alone.
It's not hard, people. You need to Oh my god.
Murdoch, what you got, bro?
So, I mean, look, I used to watch Nux, back in the day. Not religiously, like if it popped up in my feed, if the title looked good, that we're gonna show what was it? Like my best friends, like terrible anime, like dubs and shit. Like, you know what? Yeah, that I could watch that. And I never actually noticed any of the more degen stuff, And to be honest, like how he got in hot water is because of fucking what's his face. Damn it, just
Shadman.
My brain just Shadman. My brain just X'd him out of my head.
Shadman.
Shadman. Because he's a shad, I guess.
Yep.
Now he at some point you're gonna find out, like, oh shit, this dude, like the drawing the King's Daughter thing should have been like numero uno, like let me do PR shit right now so I don't have to do it in like 5 years.
Yeah.
And do it worse. Like it's going to be worse if I just cut it off right there, and just you can edit. I'm pretty sure you can edit your thumbnails while the video is rough.
Yes, yes, you can.
So you're able to like I'm just gonna pretend this never happened, pretend this never happened, pretend this never happened, and just
Hope for the
about.
best.
And yeah, and when they come in, but that's the thing, when people start coming at you, like, look, when he did that stuff, it crossed the line for me. I edited everything. I nixed him. I burnt that bridge right then and there. And look, he'd still be where he's at. He'd still have he still has a fan base, but I think his fan base is just more degens that you don't want to deal with in public.
Yeah, there are a lot of trolls and edgelords and freaking, those types of people. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the type of people that you see on a hot day drinking milk,
Jesus.
And
That's
you look at him like I'm like, ugh. Like, I feel he does stuff. Why is he drinking milk on this? It's 98 degrees. Why is he drinking milk? I bet that dude's up to something.
OJ's the way, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, if I saw somebody drinking OJ, I'd be like, damn, dude, where'd you get that?
Hell yeah, right? I'd be
go
like,
get some of that OJ. You look like an outstanding Christian man. Where'd you get that orange juice?
There you go.
Yeah, it definitely changes.
Is it high pulp or no pulp?
It definitely changes my perspective on Nux a good deal. Because it's like, dude, again, like I said, if he had just come out and owned it, it's easier to forgive than it is to forget, right? Like, just because you forgive something doesn't mean you're going to forget about it either. But it's like, dude, there's a lot of instances where you're playing with fire and you almost got burned. And the only thing that saved you is you've built up this type of a character. Like, this is your character. Your character is your defense. I'm the meme lord. I'm the edge lord. I'm the guy that gets canceled. Like, that is your fallback. But eventually people will be like what Ken said, stop the act and be serious. Be serious in your response. And
it all comes down to acknowledgement.
Yeah. Acknowledgement and accountability, man. Like, you have to take accountability, especially when you have hundreds of thousands of people watching you.
Facts. Real quick before we end the video, we just crested over 700 subs. So I just want to thank everybody. I just want to thank everybody that subbed to the channel. Sticking around, watch the content. Just like Plex said, we spawn from locale. Of course, we're going to cover locale, but we're also going to do other things. And we hope you do enjoy the content. And if you see something that's not for you, doesn't mean you have to watch it, but I promise you'll see something that is for you. So we're going to try different things out, and we'll see what comes of it. So we do hope you stick around, and thanks for the sub, and thanks for checking us out.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on the 700.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I just didn't know when. But yeah, thanks to everybody. We appreciate our very special guests, Neon Treon and our Murdoch Pop. Like, we loved having you guys on. We loved talking with you. Love having you in the Discord. Murdoch,
perspective, man.
Yeah. You guys bring brand new perspectives, and you guys are also a hoot as well. So we definitely wouldn't mind doing some videos with you guys in the future. Murdoch, I know that you did talk about your channel. Why don't you go ahead and plug that once more?
All right, yeah. So it's called The Anime Cowboy. It's on YouTube. Now, here's the problem. When you look it up, go into filters and look for channels. You're just going to get Cowboy Bebop if you do Anime Cowboy. So look that up. I'm a little mouse with a cowboy hat smoking a cigarette. All right. If you like anime, you'll love it. If you hate anime, you're still gonna love it because
there you go.
That's the character.
That man knows how to sell.
Check it out.
And then Neon Treon, I don't know if you have anything that you would like to plug, YouTube or maybe your Twitter.
My Twitch and my Twitter are Neon Treon.
Beautiful. Keep it simple.
And that's what my YouTube is as well.
Even better.
Awesome.
I don't have anything public. I had to private some of the stuff I did because it was some old stuff that I did some editing for a couple of people, some sound editing. Jeez, years ago now.
Hell yeah.
But also to all your fans or anybody just watching this video, could you please like and subscribe for these guys? They are great. And I will be back when I can, anytime you ask me that I can.
We appreciate that, definitely.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, because we definitely don't like ask for it. Or, like we listen, we had somebody on one of our first lives saying, oh, you like something like you guys don't have membership set up. And I'm like, we're getting closer to the membership program, but even once we do, we're not like, we don't want that. Like, we don't want your money by you giving it to us. We just give the views, the likes, and the subscribes. That's like all we've asked for. Like, if we ever get to a point where we think about like having a members Discord or ever, you know, are blessed with those types of numbers, we promise like $5 is going to be full access to everything. Like,
we're not going to be DSP, bro. We're not going to be begging.
We're not going
to. We're not going to be begging.
There will be no pay pig tiers.
Like, not at all, bro.
Thank you.
Pay pig will be $5.
And we're not going to adjust for inflation or any of that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be that at all.
No.
But anyway, any support in any kind of way is greatly appreciated, because we're definitely doing our thing here. We definitely want to entertain people. This is a passion project for everybody, and we hope you like it.
And with that, we're signing off. Have a good night, evening, day, everybody.
Take care.